Hello. Welcome to our YouTube channel. For those who have been here, it's nice to see you again. For the people who are new on this page, welcome on this page.
Welcome.
All the people who never subscribe to our page, welcome to our page and subscribe.
I'm not smiling to you.
No, we will smile to them and then we will ask them very gently, please subscribe. Okay, adverts concluded. Today we have a lot of business to do with you guys. I don't know, Love, if you want to take the lead and maybe broadly summarize our first year and then share what.
I think I will always link some people back to the previous videos, because throughout the previous videos we actually explained certain journey that we went through. Some of them, like, it's not always butterfly, it's not all about butterflies and stuff like that, and that was exactly our first year. Our first year, we have the impact of marriage, the entering. So when everyone who is entering into marriage, you have an idea, you guess how marriage will be, you try to figure it out outside, but then when you enter, there is the reality of 247, which means you're living with a person. You are seeing the side that you couldn't see on the phone, the side that you couldn't detect by just talking to the person. So that became probably the first challenge that we had. It wasn't, I wouldn't say that it was challenging, but it hits you, it brings you to the point you say, oh, okay, so this is how you are. Okay, but not in a negative way, because you are knowing, you are knowing the person. So that was the first year. I would say that there was this big impact of, okay, now we are married, we are in forever. Okay, so this is how it will look like. Okay, then how will I adjust my things? How will she adjust her things to mine? And how can we build that unit that can bring a solid foundation to build on with ourselves, and then children involved in the future as well. So I would say that the first year was more adapting to this thing called marriage, isn't it?
Yeah, that's actually interesting. Adapting, and it can be quite challenging for people who, like me, like to we overplan things. Before we get into marriage, we have already figured out in our head how everyday life is going to be, and can be quite disappointing when you realize that everyday life is not as you may often see it in the social media. It's not always lovey. Some days you wake up moody and you will not like to speak with the other person will wake up moody and would not like to speak with the other person. And in on this note, I want to chip in one major thing that was a great it's very important area of our life, and at the same time it was a great challenge, that is incorporating our spiritual life into marriage. Because when you get married, I believe that spiritually there is a lot of things going on. Physically, when you guys consummate your marriage, there is physical union, but then there is a whole atmosphere, like emotional, spiritual, that are also trying to blend and are also trying to come together. And it can be quite it can be a bit
it can be
like
intense,
I don't know if friction is the word, but it can become quite challenging, because you may be used to a certain rhythm. In fact, before marriage we had our spaces, we did hear from each other, but like in the evening we had our spaces. I used to be an evening person, prayer, but then when I got married, like all of a sudden, like I'm no more an night person, but a very an early morning person. And so when you're trying to find balance for family altar, it's always a struggle. There is one who wants to do midnight, and most of the things that impacted maybe my inability to stick to night prayers as I used to before getting married was simply going through daily activities. It's not that we have shared already in different instances that in our home, like, there is not yes, I do the cooking, as we said earlier on, because I love cooking, but there are days that Michael has done cooking as well when I couldn't. For example, when I was pregnant and I had no zeal and no will to go to the kitchen. We had to eat and he would do the cooking, or other house chores. We divide it among ourselves because that's how we understand our home to be. And in the early stage of marriage, it was like you trying to enter into a housewife role. So you work yourself out because you are working. I work 9 to 5, and then you want to do the wife thing, and then you get to the end and then you are tired. That's the reality of things. You're tired and you can't cope, so what you can only do is wake up early and then take it from there. So it was a huge struggle for us to find balance. I think this thing went on for a good while until we actually found balance to be able to cling together, and at the same time also find our spaces. So in terms of challenges, I'll say this, but in terms of something positive, and we will end on this note.
A positive thing. Everything was positive. Everything in sense of coming together was a positive thing. I mean, 2 is better than definitely 1. So we found where I am weak, she's strong. Where she's weak, I am strong. So that kind of connection made the union very interesting and beautiful to see that. Even if you go outside and you have a struggle, that you have a wife who's very good in this, and I can go to her, and vice versa. So then I started seeing the good part. I started seeing that the female version of Michael is her. So that was the good thing. Finally, it took a while, but then when the challenge comes and you see that the other person is very quick in solving it, you begin to adapt easily. Oh, she can do it. Yes. Okay, then you move to here. So that was actually coming together for me is the most positive thing. What about yourself?
And I actually re-echo what Michael is saying. I think for me, all these things aside, we don't want to scare people out of marriage, but our concern is to bring reality of marriage, because most of the time people lose the touch of the reality of marriage, and then they get into it and they're like, this is not what I signed in for. But there is the reality aspect of marriage, but not to be denied. And this is my positive thing about the first years, the beauty of companionship. And we said it and we keep on saying, at times we are like, Charlie, just me and you. Like this life, thank God we have blessed families. But when you get married, it's truly you and your partner. So you have to enjoy yourself. Like you have to be happy with yourself. And this is something that we are learning more and more to do. Like for no reason, just burst into laughter, laugh about things. Not just be serious over things, but just laugh about yourself, laugh about the things that you cannot yet do, laugh about the things that you did and it didn't go well. Like just chill. Chill and enjoy every bit of the journey. So I would say definitely companionship. I'm grateful to God that I have this companion. Most times we will say, oh my God, I don't know how we ever thought that we could do life with anybody else, because it's just that's when you are infant. You see, when you don't know things, you think, but then until that's the point. That's one part. This is a key thing for everyone who's watching. Be very careful when you are outside something, and then there is a guy, there is a girl, you are judging them outside. Be very careful, because when you guys enter into marriage, in the both side, both positive and negative. Positive, sometimes you may judge somebody, he doesn't look like the person who can make the marriage work. It will surprise you that when people get into marriage, there is something that comes out from them, that the guy that you thought that would be that perfect
by the time that you get into marriage with that person, he actually is the opposite. Because actually marriage reveals really the true personality of people. It really does. It really does. So sometimes as you see the guy there over there, yeah, he may be lacking certain things, but then he is able to make you enjoy yourself. But then you can find the guy that who apparently looks like he has everything, but when then you get married, is actually a nightmare. So be very careful. That's why obviously in other videos we've been saying discern, pray, ask God, because sometimes appearance, spiritual appearance towards regarding marriage is very deceptive. Don't use too much appearance. Scan them from the spiritual realm, scan them from a leadership realm, and then you will find out that as soon as you guys are joined, you wonder after a year, hey, this guy that was judging, this lady I thought that could switch with another one, and you find out that it was impossible.
So we, on a conclusive note, really pray for you. We really pray for you that if you are in the process of taking the step of marriage and this is not the will of God, God should open your eyes as you listen to us.
Amen.
And whatever his will is, may he cause your feet to fall into it.
Amen.
There are some people who don't realize that they wake up in the morning and the devil has already predetermined that their feet will fall into calamity. And they just fall into it and things begin to happen. But our prayer, and we put this upon you, is that let your feet fall into God's will.
Amen.
As you listen to us, let your feet fall into God's will.
Amen.
In marriage. May your marriage be enjoyable. May your marriage be a blessing for generations to come as you listen to us.
Jesus.
So this is our first nuggets from our first year, and just
as usual, stay tuned and stay
connected. We are the Micanas. We are the Micanas.